Now, what about sticker and star charts? Where do those fall in? Are those incentive programs? You do something and I'll give you a sticker. If I'm giving you a sticker every time you do the right thing, is it internal or external?
External.
It is external. Who is responsible there for rewarding the child? The adult, which means I have to do what? I may have to bribe them. I have to pay attention to make sure that I give you every star you deserve. And if I don't notice and I don't give you a star and you know you earned one, what are you going to do? Hey, look what I did, look what I did. Do I get a star? Do I get a star? You can give me a star? Where am I looking for my validation? Outside. So I'm actually kind of creating the praise junkie, the junkie who's addicted to those incentives. That's the reason that I'm doing it. Instead, how can we shift the focus? Now, first let's talk about why do we often want to use things like stickers and stars and that kind of thing. I mean, what's our real intent in doing that? Teach them behavior, kind of have a checklist maybe of what it is they're supposed to do to make sure that they remember to do it. Maybe if there's a negative behavior we're trying to change, we identify the positive one and we try to notice when they do that. So how can we still accomplish our goal without the negative long-term consequences of using that totally external, you got to depend on me to get this? Any ideas? Okay, well, I'm prepared then. Because here's what we can do. With behavior charts, the whole thing is it's not so much, I mean, if you can't just kind of throw them away, that's great. But ideally, and this is on your handout, if you are going to use a behavior chart, let's look at a couple of the things that we can do. First of all, you don't want to get into a competition to have the kids competing for their stickers. In general, who's going to get the most stickers? The kids that are doing the best, that are catching on, that are the best behaved, whatever it is you're giving the stickers for, it's going to be the kids who are already doing that well and not having a problem who are going to get the most stickers. Which means the kids who need the most encouragement are going to be getting the fewer stickers. So are they going to feel more encouraged or less encouraged? Less. So are they going to be more or less motivated to change or improve? Less. So you want to, number one, not have it be a competition. And just have them focus on doing their best. If it's a target behavior. Number two, explain the value of the task. How is it going to help them? How is it going to help others? If they do clean up after playtime and there aren't toys laying all over the floor, how does that help them? How does that help the class? How does that help the children coming in next? Asking it as a question rather than lecturing it. Instead of saying, now you know, if you clean that up then, as opposed to, what do you think if all of those toys are there and we try to walk through the room, do you think somebody could get hurt? Asking it as a question. So explain the value of the task. The third one starts getting the focus away from it being always me, being there rewarding that, to getting the child involved. So involve the child in creating the chart. So it could be, if it's something like a routine. I know with parents, a lot of times it'll be like a bedtime routine, or maybe as you're going from one activity to another, maybe there's a certain order that you want them to do things. They can use pictures rather than words. They can write it out themselves. Maybe they can set their own goals. But they can come up with what it is that they'd like to track. And then, I'm actually going to skip one and go down to focus on intangible benefits, and the next one, which is let them reward themselves. Because then it is, why don't you go check your chart, go check off whatever you did. You did that for a whole week? Wow, what would you like to do to celebrate? So it's them giving it to themselves and celebrating, as opposed to, good girl, you did everything I told you to do this week. Here's your stickers and stars that I'm going to give you to pay you, to bribe you, to reward you for being good. See how it shifts the focus. And that's something they can do their whole lives. You know, I mean, as an adult, how many here have ever set a goal? Now, have you ever kind of looked at what your steps are, and as you reach each step, maybe you go out and celebrate? Don't we do that? Now, when you're setting goals, do you look to somebody else and say, hey, I reached my goal. What are you going to give me? You know, that isn't really how adult life works. And the sooner we can teach children the skills for validating themselves and doing that for themselves, the better. Noticing positive behavior not to mirror. It's always have it be a positive thing. Not that you're getting points taken off, but that you're either earning or you're acknowledging the positive of what they did. So it's a positive thing, not a discouraging thing. Use it more of a reminder as opposed to a payoff. And the last one is to try to phase them out. It's really, you don't want them or you to rely too much on that external as a motivator. Now, as an external reminder, how many people here write notes? You're so busy, you gotta write notes to yourself or you're gonna forget. Okay, that's different. But that's where this can lead to for them, just good organizational skills. Did you have a question or a point? No. Oh, okay. Sorry. Oh, that's okay. I saw a finger up there. Wasn't sure that was a question. Does that make sense? It's not so much that we have to do away with it. We just want to tweak it a little bit. So we go from that external to internal motivation so that we don't end up with some of those long-term consequences. Does that make sense? Okay.